Hi, I'm Marissa from Galil Motion Control. When connecting to a Galil controller over Ethernet, it's important that the host computer and controller are addressed properly so that they can communicate. Let's start with this typical network configuration. Galil recommends that a host PC have two NIC cards, one to communicate to the controller using a static IP address, and one to connect to the internet or an outside network using a dynamic IP address. If multiple controllers or Ethernet PLCs are required, such as Galil's Rio, it is recommended that the host PC communicate to the control devices through a hub or a switch using a star topology, as shown. If it is not important to maintain connection to the internet or an outside network, one can simply remove the second NIC card from their system. Most NIC cards are configured to connect to the internet out of the box using DHCP to obtain an IP address automatically. When connecting to a controller, it is up to the user to ensure that an appropriate address is assigned manually. If the user does not set an IP address, Windows will. This address will have the form of 169.254, etc., shown by ipconfig. This is a special default address that should not be used. So let's try setting an IP address in Windows 7. You can find your IP address configuration settings by going to the Control panel. Under Network Status and Tasks, select your network you'll be using to connect to the controller with, and then select Properties. Be sure to change the property settings for Internet Protocol version 4. Once there, instead of obtaining an IP address automatically, use the IP address of 192.168.1.42. Any IP address will do so long as it matches the subnet mask of our controller. Speaking of which, Windows 7 will automatically fill in this section for us. Leave the rest to default and select OK, and exit out of all the remaining windows. Let's try connecting to a DMC 4040 4-axis Accelera controller, which has currently not been assigned an IP address, using Galil's latest software package, Galil Suite. After opening Galil Suite's terminal, select the Connect button. Galil Suite has already found all the controllers available on the network. The DMC 4040 Accelera controller is marked as unsigned. By trying to connect to it, we will be prompted with our PC's IP address and subnet mask information. This should look familiar. Thus, let's fill in the final value for the IP address to 10. Once connected, the controller will respond with a colon when pressing return in the terminal. Now that we're connected, we can use Galil Suite's various tools to tune, configure and save parameters, edit and download programs, watch values such as position and error in real time, or check the status of our controller or I/O with the watch window.